And good afternoon, San Antonio. Welcome to the Happy Handyman Show. I'm Trudy Chook, broadcasting live from Johnny Chook's Home and Hardware. We're located at 2361 Northwest Military Highway, and we're going to be open today till 6:30. Now, tomorrow we're open 11 to 5. Anything that I talk about, that you can come by the store and take a look at the product, or if you want to call the store right now and get some more information, the number is 210-341-1573. Now, if you don't live in San Antonio, but you can hear my voice either on iHeartMedia or if you follow us on Facebook, you could always go out to our website, which is happyhandyman.com, and search out there. If you can't find it out there, just call the store, because I will talk about some things that we don't normally carry on the website. And so gift things and maybe paint items that we don't carry on the website because they're hard to ship, but you can always call and ask some more questions. Maybe I can help you find it in the area closest to you. And then if you go out to the website, you're going to find that I write an article out there every week that goes mainly into Houston. But if you want some information, this information is like the print version of what we do right now. Always introducing maybe new product or a new way to do things. And that's what we're going to talk about today, because I got a painter aside today. He's one of my favorite painters that we work with. And I asked him a few more pointed questions about painting and things like that. And he told me some things that you can put in under your hat. And if you decide that you want to paint cabinets, walls, trim, this is the way to do it. All right. So let me tell you one thing. We are going to have two events coming up. One is next Friday, and it is mainly a contractor event. And you say, well, gosh, Trudy, I'm not a contractor. Why do I care? You care. Let me tell you why you care. Because we're going to have some great people that paint for a living. I mean, they do this all the time. This is what they do for a living. And they are like artists in their trade. And if you're looking for someone to paint your house, if you're looking for someone to paint cabinets, trim work, the inside, the outside, this would be a wonderful time to come by the store, look at the paint that we have, because we have Coronado and Benjamin Moore, and touch base with some of these painters that you can ask some questions about and maybe even get a bid for your house. These were people would be easier than you just running your fingers through Google or anything like that. Okay, so just a word to the wise, and come on by next Friday between 11 and 3, and you'll find some great painting professionals then. So let's talk about paint. Okay, we have a painter. His name is Herb Whitehouse. I love recommending Herb. And I was talking to him about painting cabinets. And he says, Trudy, you want me to come and paint your cabinets? And I said, you know what I would like more? And he said, what? Give me step by step on how to paint my cabinets so they look professional. Because, you know, I know a lot about product. I don't always get to do these things that for all the time. I mean, I get to dabble in it a little bit, but mainly I go with what other professionals tell me and what I learned from Ben Moore and what I learned from Coronado, and then of course things that I've learned through the years from my dad and other people that we've worked with. And so I asked him, okay, what's the steps? Because he was talking about a kitchen job that went really well, and the cabinets, and how pleased his customer was. And I said, what were those steps? First thing he said, of course, you take down the doors, because you want not to be able to have to be constricted by trying to work around stuff. You want to take those doors off. You can paint the frames in place, but the doors, it's much easier if you take them down. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to use a product that I talked about a couple of weeks ago, and it's called Peso, and it's called a liquid sander. And it's liquid, it's in a can, it's called called Peso. This stuff has been around forever, and it's great for taking off the gloss on paint. So don't get confused about when people say you can't paint latex over oil or oil over latex. You can do either of those. You just can't paint on a shiny surface. So that's when it will peel off, chip off, because it has never gotten a chance to take a tooth into the wood, okay? So the first thing you're going to do, like I said, is you're going to put the Peso on. You put it on with a brush, and then you wipe it off with a rag. And then you're going to sand after that, and then you're going to use a tack cloth to get all the dust off. Then you're going to use a product that is made by Coronado, and now of course they call it Insulex, and the name, they don't say Coronado across the top, they say Insulex, but this has been around forever. This was a Coronado product, and it's called Stix, S-T-I-X, and it is a acrylic formula. What does acrylic mean? It's waterborne, okay? So it cleans up real easy. It bonds hard to coat surfaces. It's got excellent adhesion. And it says you can top coat it with latex, oil, urethane, epoxy, any of those things. Now, I'll tell you what Mr. Whitehouse, he says, tell your customers, be real careful, don't get this on your hands. His hands, he got through with that paint job about a week ago, and he still had white flecks of Stix on his hands. And usually, you know, that stuff will come off your skin pretty easily if you just take something abrasive to it. But that goes to show you how well it's going to stick to your cabinet doors, okay? So he put on a coat of Stix and then sand again. All it takes is one coat of Stix, and then you're going to sand again. Okay, so you're going to need to let it dry. Look at the back of it, let it dry. Now, he lets his cure for 3 days, okay, 3 days. Not all of us will want to wait that long, but he's a professional and he wants his work to last forever, okay? So I'm just telling you, you don't have to. It says it dries in about and cures in about 24 hours. But if you want a job that you know is never going to, like if you accidentally hit it with something, it's not going to mark and stuff like that, or you're not going to accidentally get a chip, let it cure for longer than that. And then you're going to use a product, and he uses a spray gun, okay, which you can with all of this. This is going to give you, you know, like an airbrushed look. You can get spray guns these days. They're very reasonable. And even if you just use it one time and never use it again, it's well worth it for the project. And then you're going to use a product called Advanced, made by Ben, okay? And it is for cabinets, furniture, something. It's made, you can actually brush it on, and it is very slow curing, and so there are no brush marks. But if you can get your hands on a sprayer is the best way. It's going to look super professional. And you're going to spray on a coat. You're going to let it dry. You're going to lightly sand it. Okay? And then you're going to come back. You're going to do the tack cloth again. Make sure you don't get any dust laying down on your project. And then you're going to do another coat of Advance. Now I'm going to suggest some colors. If you want white, White Dove. White Dove is really good. Chantilly Lace is another one. It is very white, okay, bright white. White Dove is a little easier on the eyes, and so and it looks good with Aura Braun trim or the new gold that they're using a lot of. It looks really good with that, okay, and grays. Okay, so that's how you do your cabinets. But a lot of people want to use, and hi Karen, and hey Mark, how's it going? If y'all have a question, either one of you have a question, just type it in right there and I'll try to do it while we're on the air. If you are looking for an oil. Okay, say maybe you have new wood. Usually we tell people if you've got new wood, you want an oil-based primer. So new wood, like your siding on the outside of your house, your trim work, new trim and base molding and stuff like that in your house, you want to use a new one. It's made by Ben Moore, and it's also great for decks because this one, Fresh Start, there's two of these, okay? And I just brought the one that's made for deck and siding primer because it's ideal for cutting out stains from tannins, okay? It's called Fresh Start. And he and I were talking about a deck that he had done and how he cleaned the deck first, sanded it lightly, and then he used the Fresh Start, the oil base. And why he did that is so it takes a tooth into the wood, okay? Because that's what you want. If you don't start with a surface that is really grabbing, then anything that you put on top of it, it's gonna pop off, okay? And it's not gonna have anything to do with the paint that you used. It's gonna have something to do with the primer that you used. So, and then on that one, he used Cabot. Cabot, hands down, for a surface you're going to walk on your deck, it's excellent. I used the solid, the completely solid one called Deck Correct. He used a solid one that he had tinted to a stain color that his customers wanted. And they are telling him that a year later that it is so good, it looks great, and they were thrilled with the results, okay? All right, so let me tell you where we're located again. We're at 2361 Northwest Military Highway. The phone number is 210-341-1573. We're going to be here today till 6:30 and tomorrow 11 to 5. Remember, we're going to have an event for our contractors next Friday, the 31st. If you want to come by and meet some great professionals, then you want to come by while they're here, which is about 11 to 3 that day. And then the week after that, the Easter weekend, we're going to have what we call last year Build a Basket. We're going to do it again. It was so good. People had so much fun. You build your own basket, and everything in the basket is going to be discounted, okay? We'll give you a basket if you want. If you want to bring your own basket, you can. All right, so now let's talk about because Coronado came out with a new product called Rust Avoid. Now they spell it RUST-A-Void, V-O-I-D. And hi Jean, how you doing? And so I'm thinking they're trying to do a play on words like avoid rust, rust avoid. And we have not had Rust Scat enamel was what we used all the time from Coronado. Well, they have decided to drop that one and bring out the Coronado Rust Avoid. And the Rust Avoid is really good for like outdoor furniture, your pipe fencing, metal doors, whether that be on the, like on your garage door or something like that, or your regular door going inside the house. This is a perfect product for metal, and it's an oil. So it comes in a semi-gloss, and it also comes in a gloss and a satin. So it gives you all three finishes. Now, in the gloss, I'm going to look at my notes here. It comes in a lot of stock colors, just like Rust Scat used to, which is like Battleship Gray, Safety Red, Safety Blue, Orange, Yellow, and Silver Gray. So if you're wanting something like that, maybe you want to paint your pipe fencing that kind of silvery gray color, it comes in stock colors. You don't have to get it mixed. You just take it, we'll shake it for you, and then you can apply it. But what if you have rust in those areas? How are you going to take care of that? Now, Rust Scat enamel used to encapsulate the rust, okay? But I think that you ought to be like really safe, and you want to use a product called Restore. It's a rust converter and protective coating. When you this is kind of like the step up from Rust Cure that we used to have about 4 years ago, and so now we buy Restore, okay, and it will completely encapsulate the rust. It will never, wherever you put it, it will never rust there again, and then you can paint right over it. It will turn black, and it will have a little bit of a protective coating that almost looks like a gloss, but that will fade, okay? The gloss will fade, not the black will fade, but the gloss will fade, and you can paint over it, or you can just leave it as it is, and it will never. The nice part is it will never rust there again. All right, now I want to talk to you about some products that I've been waiting to get in, and they've been real slow about getting back to us. So one of them is a product, if you have tile and you have grout lines, and it seems like you are constantly having to clean these grout lines, and it's a hard job. It really is a hard job. So you want to, I want to talk about OSPO. Well, I can talk about OSPO, Mark, and that is a good product too. However, I think Restore is a step up. That's just my personal opinion. But OSPO, like Mark says, it is a rust converter, and it is a little more a watery formula. The Restore is a little bit thicker, and will give you a finish that you could just leave just like that. Okay, so how do you take care of the grout in your tile? In your bathroom, maybe around your toilet, around the shower, where people are walking all the time and a lot of dust and dirt gets there. There's a product made by StoneTech. It's my favorite product that StoneTech makes. Not that I don't like all of them, but this one is my favorite. And because it does such a good job about cleaning grout lines on the floor, and I'm not talking about a mold and mildew kind of thing. I'm talking about a dirt and grime thing, because like in your shower, if you have white grout, just get a bleach-based cleaner like Zep. Zep, super inexpensive. I think $5.99 or $6.99, and it's called Mold and Mildew Stain Remover. You just spray it in your shower as long as you have ceramic tile and white grout, and it cleans it great. Now, if you need something for colored grout, that's something different, and we have a product for that. But if you just have white grout, that's the way to go. Zep Mold and Mildew Stain Remover. If you still need to like go in certain areas, just use the Grout Aid. The Grout Aid will make it look like brand new grout. Okay. But you don't want to use it on the floor. What you want on the floor is this product called Deep Cleanse. And when you use the Deep Cleanse, you want to use a wallpaper brush to clean with. And for those of you that are watching on Facebook, you'll see this wallpaper brush is about 12 inches. And why a wallpaper brush? Because you can clean almost 3 feet at a time, and instead of like with a toothbrush where you're cleaning a couple of inches at a time. And then the StoneTech, then you let it sit for a little bit, you clean and you rinse it off, you mop it off. And then afterwards, I'm going to tell y'all the best sealer to use is also made by StoneTech. I don't carry it. Go to like Floor and Decor or a flooring professional place, and it's called Bulletproof. And you still have to put it on like with a paintbrush and stuff like that, but it is hands down the best sealer that is put out. It is really, really good. Made by StoneTech. Floor and Decor will have it, and so they'll have a whole line of that. And then another thing from StoneTech that I like is called a quartz cleaner. It's called Quartz and Tile, And so if you have quartz, this is a really nice product to use. Because a lot of people, maybe you just use, I don't know, a lot of people use Windex on everything. Remember me talking last week, my mom used to clean her leather and then it etched it. I like to use products that they say that's what it's for, and that's what I use. So, all right, now I want to tell you about something that it was made right in Houston. It's called a Sleek Socket. I've talked about these before. They are a cover that goes on your socket, but it has a cord that goes underneath it. And so you can put all kinds of, your plug will look nice and smooth, but then they have a cord that goes underneath with an outlet of 1, 2, 3 outlets, and you can then plug your stuff in there. What I really wanted this for is I had just bought a new couch, and my electrical outlets were behind the couch, and I needed that couch to go flush against the wall, and I walked in to do it best, and this was brand new for them. So these are really nice. Now, what else is nice? Use them in your kitchen. So maybe you have a beautiful backsplash, but then you've got all these cords plugged in, and it just takes away from your backsplash. Do a sleek socket, so all you see is the sleekness of the socket, and then run those cords behind everything and plug everything in there. It's really good. All right, we're going to be off of WOAI, but we're going to continue on Facebook. So those of you watching on Facebook, or you want to go for it, just check in there. All right, let me tell you where we're located. We're at 2361 Northwest Military Highway. Open till 6:30 today. The phone number's 210-341-1573. And that's it for this week, folks. It's time for you to roll up your sleeves and get busy on these projects. But by all means, you remember one thing. It's always a great day to paint. See you next week. You're welcome very kindly. All right. All right, so now I get to take the headphones off, get a little bit closer to talk to y'all, and because I've got a bunch of tips that I want to tell you about today that I got from some other professionals. All right, so you know earlier when I was talking to you about painting your cabinets and stuff like that, and when you take your cabinets off, you paint the back side first, okay? Paint the back side first, and put your cabinets on these little pyramids, and see how pointed they are at the top? That's all that's going to touch your painted surface, okay? So these are really great to use, and they're called, so original, Painter's Pyramid. Okay, and so there we go. This is what you want to use. So it just will help your painting job go so much smoother. So let's talk about paint. Say you're going to paint your walls. And so I'm going to give you some tips, because what happens when you paint your walls? You take down all your artwork, and then you want to go back and you want to put it back again. Where did it go? You painted over the holes. So what do? So simple. You go and you take your artwork down, and before you start painting, you put toothpicks in every one of those holes where you had, and then you paint, and then when you pull your toothpick out, you will still see your original holes. You're not going to make new holes in your beautiful wall. It's going to be right where you put it. You won't have to go, oh, is that straight or not? Because that's where it originally started from. So that's a good way, a simple way, and everybody's got toothpicks, right? Now, if you want to hang up new art, I'm going to suggest, this is made by 3M. It's time to get a new sweater. No, you don't want me to tell them that? Okay, this is made by The Claw, okay? And I want to know if y'all can see the back of this. These are very, very tiny. In fact, it's about the size of a toothpick. But This will hold 25 pounds. Just one of them will hold 25 pounds. And they make them to hold 45 pounds. So if you need something that's even 90 pounds, then you could put two of them up. And you've got a wire between, and then hang these up. And you don't even have to have a hammer. This is what's great about this. You push it in with your thumb. It's made, you don't have to have, it says, no worries, no tools, no studs, no guesswork. So if you're gonna be hanging new art, I would grab one of these, the cloth, because it, let's see if you can see this or not. See how it grabs like that? Okay. All right, now, all right, Trudy, I bumped my can of red paint with the sleeve of my gray sweater. Help, how do I get the paint off? Okay, so I'm thinking the paint's, if it's on your sweater, I don't know what you're gonna do. Okay, but if it's on the floor, wipe up as much as you can right away. And then there are several paint removers that we're not gonna remove, like the varnish on your floor. They will break the bond between the paint and the floor, and it's called lift off. So that, as long as you get it up right away, then use the lift up to get the rest away. If it's a latex, okay, sometimes those wipes that are made by Tub of Towels will get that off too. Mark Grove, if you're still listening, didn't we use that one time on a floor here where a gentleman had dropped a spray paint can and that spray paint went all over? Well, we let it go by a long time, and then Mark came in and brought us Tub of Tiles, which he repped at the time, and we got it up with Tub of Tiles. But there's also one that has a kind of a scrubby finish on it, and I'll think of it later and tell y'all later which one it is. But we have it on aisle 19, and that's really good about getting paint off of floors, okay? Either the lift off, the Tub of Towels, or the other one that has a kind of a scrubby finish. We use them all the time in the paint department. All right, now, how many of you have white dishes? I have a whole set of white dishes. And some of them, I don't know why, I don't know if what I have put on them and then maybe put it in the microwave, they get little dark scratches through them, all over them. And so and then I have some that they look like I had just bought them. So what do you do about white dishes that get little marks on them, or maybe they get shadows on them? Okay, there's a couple of things you can do. One is Barkeeper's Friend. Barkeeper's Friend is not too aggressive. It won't take the finish off your dish. Of course, try it on the back side first, just to make sure, because not all dishes are the same. That one, or Barkeeper's Friend in the liquid. It's pretty liquidy, and it does a really good job. My mom uses this on her copper sink, and this is really good on a ceramic sink. Super good. Okay, these are really nice, and they're still very economical. Okay, all right. Now, I want to show you something about a tip for when you are hanging up, like maybe a towel bar or a towel ring, and sometimes it's very hard. This is the hardware they give you for that, and so this one's not so hard, okay? But say you're doing a towel ring and you want to make sure you get those and put the screws in just the right spot, okay? The best thing to do is you put the sticky side facing your wall, and then you take the screws and go through here, okay? And mark them just like they are. You're gonna do it on there. Put that on the back like that. Use the screws through there. Mark where you need to, where it's going to go. And then you take this and you put it on your wall. And put it down on your wall. We'll just play like this is the wall. Put it down on the wall, and then it'll have your holes right here. And then you drill through those, okay? Get them exactly where you want. And then sometimes this hardware will come with, this one does not, okay? So you want to get little things to go in there so that it will grip the wall, and then you put your screws in. Those are called anchors, okay? They make several kinds. You can also use this same thing for like pictures. If you have pictures, some pictures have keyholes on the back. You don't get a chance to run a wire from one side to the other side that makes it really easy to hang. They have these little keyholes. And so you do the same thing with that. You put it on the back, okay? You mark it, and then you take that and you put it on the wall. And then you know exactly where to put the screws and the anchors. And then you don't have to worry about having to take it down again because it's not straight or something like that. Now, right now, everybody is trimming trees, and so you're going to find it's going to be real hard to find the spray that goes on the little trimmed part, okay? So if you can't find any, here's an alternative. Just get a black spray paint, okay? And you just want to cover up that wound and spray it. You can use just a black spray paint. We were looking at Flex Seal, and because that comes in a spray, and it's the exact same stuff as like the Spectracide is. So that's something if you get in a pickle and you don't know how to, what you're going to do because you can't find anything for the wounds is spray paint or, and these are super cheap. You just want to make sure you cover up that wound. So especially in the parts here in San Antonio where you have oak wilt. Okay. Now, last week we talked about this, so I'm going to hang on to this for a second. Okay, you know Easter's coming up, and I told you about that we're going to do the Build-A-Basket. But what if you don't have kids, and what if you don't have grandkids, but you have dogs? Every dog needs an Easter basket, right, Matt? So we have these great dog treats, okay? And I can tell you right now, Max loves every one of these things, and he is the pickiest. Have you ever gone to one of those restaurants and they go, oh, you've got a dog, here's the little dog treat. My dog won't touch those. And it's so embarrassing because he turns up his nose. But these, made by Etta, they come in about 4 different flavors. These are really nice to use. You can just break off a little piece at a time, and I keep it in the fridge. These are for like your bigger dogs. They're called Wild Bone, and there's about 4 different flavors of those. And then this one is made, this one's not made by Etta, this one's made by Snack Shack, okay? And it looks like donuts. Isn't that cute? Now these, Max will eat these, but I have to break them up because it's a sweet potato on the inside. It's not soft like you think a donut's gonna be. And right now he's doing like this to me. So break it up. If it's a little dog, if it's a big dog, he can crunch it with his teeth. So, okay. So you know that meets with the Max seal of approval. All right, last week I talked to you about, this was one of my favorite things that we got from the National Hardware Show. It's called Toss-Its, and it is a garbage bag that has 7 bags attached that goes in your car. It has a little bungee string that goes around the car seat, the car like that, on the headrest. And then you can, I face mine to the front. They show it going to the back so that nobody sees it. But it's only me and my car, and it's just real easy just to go over there and dump my cup, my straw. But this is why I got them. For one, I can't remember to put garbage bags in my car. And two, okay, these are smell proof and leak proof when they're sealed. So if someone has a whole bottle of soda and we're not stopping, throw it in here and seal the top of it and nothing will spill out. Or if someone gets sick in a car, you can use these as a sick bag and then seal it up, okay? These are really nice. This would make a good Easter gift. Yeah. All right. One more thing, I think. Yeah, one more thing. This is the last thing. Okay, these flood light bulbs, these are great. I put one in my closet. My closet is probably about 6 foot wide, but 12 foot long. So they put one light in the closet, okay, which is great for about the middle of the closet. And then the ends of my closet are dark, and that's where I have my jewelry, or that's where I have other things, you know, my makeup and stuff. So I put this in there, and it eliminates every part of my closet. So these are, I mean, maybe you don't have a problem with your closet, but this is really good for the garage, a shed, because these are adjustable, okay? So you could point them down if you don't want them to go out so far, or you can push them up. So it goes into a regular light bulb. It has just a medium base on it, like that. So it goes just in, so that's what you want, okay? And then these are adjustable. So you can put them out all the way, or you can adjust them down. But this is super reasonable. We had some last year, and this is the second ones that we've gotten in, and we found a vendor, and very inexpensive, okay? LED. All right, so let me remind you about a couple of things. For one, we're gonna have the paint contractors party next Friday. If you're looking for a contractor, this would be a great time to come and meet them. There'll be about 30 of them here. So surely with 30 of them here, you can find what you like, okay? And then we're gonna have our Build-A-Basket in about 2 weeks for Easter. So be sure and look us up on Facebook. If you like this, if you think it can help somebody, share it. And because, I mean, if you're a good friend and you think this might help people, if you were my friend, I'd expect you to share it. Okay, that's it for this week, folks. Thanks for listening. Thanks for jumping on and saying hi. And we'll see you next week. Bye.